I'll just correct the introduction that was accorded to me. I'm not a guest, but it's an honor to be here. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the stars of this project, the councillors and the Directorate of Education, without whom this would not have been possible. DALSA, or the Delhi Rajya Vidik Seva Pradhikaran, has shown a commitment from the inception to ensuring that all the vulnerable sections of society are not just apprised of their rights, but their rights, we facilitate the implementation, the securing of their rights. But before I go to that, all of us know कि बच्चे हमारा भविष्य हैं. मेरे हिसाब से बच्चे हमारा वर्तमान भी है. And I quote John F. Kennedy, he said, "Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future." And that is more, it's truer today than it has been at any time in history. The energy that emanates from Shri Satish Chandra Sharma ji, जो हमारे मुख्य न्यायाधीश हैं, and from Rekha ji and her vivacious self was magnified manifold by the children in their patriotic fervor who performed for us today. And the first presentation was full of patriotic zeal and fervor, which is necessary for all of us. But we tend to forget it as we grow up and are consumed by more pragmatic issues in life. Of course, the Qawwali that was sung, and I am a student of history and never let go of an opportunity to talk about it, was truly representative of the Yamuna Ganga Tehzeeb that Delhi is famous for. So the Qawwali began with a doha from Kabir Das ji. Lali mere lal ki jit dekhu tit lal, lali dekhan main chali so main bhi ho gayi lal. It's the concept is of transmigration of the soul, where all of us are one living being. We are not separate. Anyway, more on that on a more appropriate occasion. Then, of course, the Qawwali itself. If you notice, the Qawwali included words of Persian, Urdu, and Khadi Boli, Brij Bhasha. And that is the progenitor of Hindustani in India. The intermingling of these three languages, and the principal and the first exponent of that was Amir Khusro. And the Qawwali is by Amir Khusro, and it is the first Sufi Qawwali ever recorded anywhere. It was in praise of Lal Shahbaz Qalandar, who was one of the subcontinent's most famous Sufis. More on that again on another occasion. I have to move on. We must realize that apart from being our statutory duty as the Delhi Legal Services Authority to secure and apprise children amongst other vulnerable sections of their rights, it is our bounden duty to make them aware of what their rights are, and in this direction we we had a program a couple of years ago, I think a year ago, where we spoke about good touch, bad touch, and we reached a large number of schools. I am told in excess of 300 schools. In excess of 300 schools, both run by the Delhi government and the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. I don't know if the NDMC was a part of it, but the NDMC is definitely a part of today's show and shall continue to be a part of this project, this mission henceforth. I promise Mr. Yadav that. And we are grateful to him for having hosted us today. Now, what are we required to do? It's simple. We have to put what is happening to our children and the pressure they are under, how vulnerable they are to everything that happens in the world around them. They have to be made aware and alive to their environment. They are already under tremendous pressure in terms of academics. Even with the onset of technology, I see school kids carrying very heavy loads in their backpacks to school every day. That is necessary, of course, it is necessary. And the pressure that is brought to bear on them to be able to compete at the highest level in every school in Delhi, to be able to secure livelihood in the times to come and to excel, is amplified by their environment. Every day we hear of cases of sexual harassment, sexual abuse. Now, unless we put it on the agenda and we discuss it with them, it is not going to be possible for us to protect them from predators. Now, when we were considering how to go about doing this, one of the thoughts that came to us is that we need a bridge. We need to connect with them so that everything that they ought to know is brought to their notice. And the best solution that we could come up with, and possibly the most appropriate solution, was to speak to the Directorate of Education, and I am grateful to the Director of Education who is here, and the Secretary of Education who is here, that schools with their principals and with their councillors participated so enthusiastically in this mission. It is only when we educate councillors who are otherwise dealing with wide-ranging subjects in relation to children, it's only when we educate them on the legal framework that's available to children and the opportunities for them to articulate their worst fears and to address issues which otherwise never come to the surface, is to get the councillors to understand what the rights of each and every, inalienable rights of each and every child are. And once we've apprised them of the system in place and the hierarchy of courts and the functions of DSLSA and the functions of all the judicial officers and the judicial system as a whole, we are not going to be able to achieve our objectives. So we organized this project, Arushi Umid Ki Kiran. Arushi, a lot has been said about it by Mukesh Gupta, and he's taken the lead with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, along with all my siblings who are seated here, judicial officers, who are also currently seconded to DSLSA. And I must tell you, this shows that the judiciary as an institution is not only an instrument of legal change, but it's an instrument of social change and reform as well. And we have repeatedly managed to reach to the very grassroots to apprise people of their rights. This time it was children. And I am happy to report that we've already reached by the trickle down, the permeation principle, to I'm told over 13 lakh children. Is that correct? 13 lakh children. Of course, this is just a drop in the ocean. We want every child of a particular age to be alive to his environment, to be alive to what is acceptable in terms of how they interact with people and what is completely unacceptable and intolerable. Sexual abuse, violence, violence can be both psychological, physical, sexual. We don't want any of that to happen, and we will not have it happen under our watch in this city. Children have to be safe and children have to be secure. And today we've enlisted school principals and the counselors to make sure that every child has access to a holding hand and to sage advice in his time of when he's going through a difficult period. I will not say too much because I'm going to be followed by Honorable the Chief Justice, and he's the one who's made all of this possible by empowering me to carry this mission forward. All that I will say is that we must tell children not what to think, but how to think. And that's only going to be possible if we engage in conversations with them on subjects which were hitherto considered taboo on a regular basis in a friendly and straightforward manner. What else can I say? It's Shakespeare said that if it's done, then it's done well if it is done quickly. I expect all of you to show the kind of enthusiasm and energy that was demonstrated before us by the children who performed for us. I am grateful to all of you once again for participating in this mission. And I tell you that this is not the culmination of anything, this is just the beginning. It's an ongoing process and it won't end till every citizen of this city is educated about their legal rights and informed that we are here to make sure that their rights are secured. If they have any difficulties, we are there to provide free and competent legal aid, and we are there to hold their hand in their hour of need. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship, for your enriching and